Welcome. Oh my god. Hey guys. Hello. Hi TikTok. How are you going today? Hey Kiwi. Long time no see. What's been going on? Okay. I'm just going to be pinning the fabric on the leopard gecko at the moment. So yeah, yesterday I did the felting on the body. So I'm going to pin this together today. Maybe sewing, I don't know. Thanks for the likes. Alright, so I'm just using a cotton fabric for this one. And I'm just going to cut in some little slits to put the legs in. Rest in peace, Jeffrey. Who's Jeffrey? He the rat thing. You told me that at the last live. Am I correct? It's a lizard. So from a game? It's dead? Since when? Oh, yes, I have seen the lizard meme. I have. Did I make the shoe bill yet? Oh, and that's pretty quick to make it. I'm probably not going to make another one just for the sake of making another one. We're going to make other things. It looks like it's been smoking. How long does it take to make one? Between 20 and 30 hours. Thanks for the follow. How did I get into this? I've sort of always sculpted, always been a sculptor. It just sort of morphed into what it is. So I sort of started making like a plush, like a teddy bear body. And then I sculpted a head onto it and attached it. But then I started adding an armature and it sort of morphed into this. Does that make sense? So yeah, as with all things, they just happen. Thank you. So I'm completely self-taught. So I've been doing this for coming up to 14 years now. So I've made my fair share of things over the years. What's this YouTube doing? Not much by the looks of it. Is that a snow leopard? It's a pooping cat. I have done a snow leopard before though. Yeah, there's not a lot. When I first started, there was hardly anyone. But there's definitely more now than there ever has been. I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing. Now this one's a pooping cat. It's based on a British short hair, a silver tabby. So yeah. These scissors are... You like the cat? So do I. So do I. It's pooping. I gave it like a pout. See? The whiskers. Whiskers is meant to be facing forward. Stink eye. Definitely a stink eye. Alright. Now, pin this side. I'm trying to make this tight because I don't want the wrinkling to happen. And yeah, I'll chop off the excess as well. Got my pins. Okay. Yes, I will be doing scales. I'll do them individually. So basically, what I'll do is once the body's all sewn up, I'll mix up some Mod Podge and acrylic medium. This is what I normally do. And then I'll do the scales individually and then I'll hand paint it. Now, I don't mind if the neck is a little wrinkly. That's fine because it's kind of wrinkly anyway. So I'm going to make sure it's tight. Oh, thank you. Thanks for the likes, guys. What animal is this? It's a leopard gecko. So I'll work on a couple of things. I've got one more side of the flying fox to finish of sewing. So I may do that. Love it. Oh, thank you. Thanks for the follow too. All right, it's a weird angle. Okay. So basically this is all, excess here that we can trim off. After I've pinned it all together. So pinned. I do sell them. Yes, I have a shop, creaturesinnet.com. So yes. Yes, they're art dolls. Fakeodermy. So I don't use any animal products. A museum, I wish. wanting to trim off the excess here. Is that a real cat? What do you think? What do you reckon? Doesn't look real. Some of the animals I've seen made they are no good. Which ones? It's pooping. It's pooping. Which animals? Thank you. Like in the museums, you mean? Surely you're not talking about mine. Okay. There is a famous fox one at museum. Oh, I know that one. Yeah, I know that one. There's one in the Melbourne Museum where I'm from. It's called Sad Otter, which is obviously a crappy taxidermy. But yeah, it's called Sad Otter, I think. It's not very good. I can make a better doll. Yeah, I know that one. I do know that one. Okay. All right, so it's basically what our body's going to look like. So this is just a cotton fabric, a white cotton fabric. You haven't seen Sad Otter? Yes, Melbourne Museum Sad Otter. They've got it in the actual museum. Hello from Oregon. Okay. So that's pretty much ready to be sewn. I'm probably, when I glue this, I'll probably glue it a little bit further out. So it should sit a bit further out. Anyway. Yeah, they do sell plushes of it. Yeah. In the in like the shop. The museum shop. But yeah, I think that, and stickers and something else. Magnets, I think. But yeah. Alright, so that is the body for that, ready to go. What I might do, I got my flying fox. So this is the flying fox that I'm currently working on. I've got one more thing to sew on this. Which side is it? Not that side. It is this side here. So let's move kitty cat here. You can go over there. So basically, this side is open. So I've added a little bit of stuffing. Yeah, it is a little bit complex one. I've made a few of them before. I'm going to make another one for Halloween, I think. So yeah, the wings are posable on this one as well. So I've made quite a lot of flying foxes. So yeah, it's not too big a deal. But yeah, so I think I'll just add a little bit more polyfill stuffing. I didn't quite get to finish stuffing it, so but I don't want to go too overboard with it because I still have to sew it up. Thanks for all the likes, guys. Okay. So I'm going to squish that down there, flat as much as possible. And then, so basically I try and follow where That's pretty good anyway. But yeah, I try and sort of follow. There's a pin in here. Oh, YouTube is really awful today. Nothing going on. Hi, Star. How are you? Okay, so basically what I need to do is just sew this side and sort of inside the legs, and then it's sort of done. I'll have to glue it and leave it overnight before I can do anything else. You're making a clown OC. All right. Nice. Nice. Now I use a ladder stitch, and for these flying foxes I use an upholstery thread, so it's a lot thicker than your usual thread. So that way I can pull quite hard and it won't snap. Thank you for the share. And then what we want to do is sort of start working it into the wing. Mobile browser. Oh, no problem. Thanks for stopping by. Using the lid of a bottle for a head. Nice one. Creative. Okay. Now, let's follow. Thank you for the follow, guys. So basically what I'm trying to do is follow this bone structure, which is just a wire armature, which I've used for the bone structure. So I'm going to follow it with this little tuft of faux fur just to sort of blend it into the wing. And the stitch I'm using is a ladder stitch. So it's a little bit more labor intrusive, these flying foxes, just because of the amount of stitching that needs to be done, or hand stitching. You can't really do it on a sewing machine. So to make it 2D, you got inspired by this one fursuit. Oh, there you go. All right. So this is the last bit of stitching I have to do on this one, so that's great. So yeah, when it's all stitched up, I'm going to use my tacky fabric glue to glue it all together. Leave it to dry overnight, and then the last thing I'll do is apply some fur to the face. So this is a resin face for now, but yeah, I will attach some fake fur to it to blend it in, and then this one will be going off to a flying fox rescue for their educational program that they do apparently. So that's exciting. So obviously you can't handle bats because germs. So this is like a good alternative. Okay, turn it this way to work on this bit here. And then, yeah, I can getting some good progress on these dolls. So hopefully in the next week or two, I can sort of finishing up. And I really want to start working on some Halloween dolls. So is it illegal to own a pet fox in NC? I'm from Australia, so you definitely cannot own a fox here. In fact, they have bounties. Why are you staring at the cat? Maybe it knows. Just keeping everybody in check, you know. Foxes have eaten your parents' chickens 3 times. They're pretty crafty, these foxes, I have to say. You can protect the chickens as much as you can, but they still find a bloody way in, don't they? They are cheeky. And Sylvester. They clawed through the door, wooden door. They're crafty. They are. Crafty buggers. Okay. So, yeah, when this is all sewn up, I'll just trim off some areas on the legs and stuff. And sort of blend it into the body, the wings a bit better. The look I give the Billies when they're up to something. If everybody could do a look like that. I will do like a grumpy cat. I think I spoke about this a couple of lives ago, where I thought about doing like a real life Garfield, but in cat version. I'll make like a little clay lasagna. Have I made a rabbit? Yeah, I've made heaps of rabbits before. The skin tone is yellow instead of white because you can't draw. Let's see my top. You have a fat loppier one. Oh, cute. Bunnies is super cute. I think bunnies, certain bunnies, are cuter than cats. Controversial. And I'm a cat person, but bunnies are just cuter, I think. Especially the mini lock ones. Cute. Why it's see-through. Me too, yeah. Okay. This one is a mini lock. You had one that liked chocolate. Oh, they're cute. Yeah. I thought about getting a bunny years ago, but nah. I don't have like the proper area to set up like an enclosure or something, you know. So I will make a T-Rex one day, definitely. I will next year. Next year we'll do megafauna, maybe some dinosaurs. I'll make it next year's like slogan. You own a regular floppy-eared bunny. Cute. I've just got a cat. She's like the biggest a-hole. She's a strange one. She's a good cat, but she's just very strange, very controlling and dramatic. You know how cats are sometimes. So at least we get one doll done soon. I've got so many videos that I need to edit. So many rabbit owners. Yeah, right. Yeah, I know they don't do well in heat, so it gets really hot here, so you can't really keep the hutch out in the outside here, and it's just too hot. It just gets way too hot here. Do I make birds? Yeah, I made heaps of birds. Yep. You're being watched. You paid $30 for your rabbit? They look scary. Why? No. See? Not scary. That's the point. It's fakeodermy. Fake taxidermy. That's the point. Look. I'll show you something. So I make medieval cats as well, right? So this is a medieval cat that I'm currently working on, and I just completely did it. I didn't have a plan. It's sort of a combo between my previous twos because this is supposed to be their daughter. So yeah, just came out like that, right? Looks exactly like it. How much are they? It really depends, but it can they can range from $480 US to $680 US, depending on the complexity. So, but generally the price range is $580. That's kind of the general price range, and I think that's roughly almost $8 Australian. I have a lot of US buyers. Most of my customers are from the US, and yeah, I kind of got sick of explaining that not everything is in American dollars. Yeah, I have been thinking about that. Yeah, to put shelving up here, I am thinking about that. They're all for sale, so my intention is not to keep them all. So next year I'm going to try and do some more cons, probably expos, whatever. How long do they take to make? So usually between 20 and 30 hours, just depending again on complexity. But the general ballpark is like 25 hours just for a basic, basic kitty cat. Because I got to find a cat. No, I've got to sculpt everything and put it all together, hand sew everything. So yeah, generally like 25 hours for something basic like that. But in terms of reptiles, they generally take longer. I did a chameleon not that long ago. That took about 35 hours. It's just a really complex doll with the skin and everything. You wouldn't call that basic. This is art. Thank you. Basic, I mean like it's just me sculpting the parts and then sewing it. That's what I mean by basic. So if I do something a bit more complex, it would be like this Japanese dragon I'm currently working on. So the sculpting is very extensive. It's not finished yet either. But yeah, sometimes I do things with movable jaws. The reptiles, I do the scales individually. So it takes a bit longer to do. So yeah, by basic, I just mean like sculpt the head and the feet and so it put together. That's kind of what I mean by basic. So there's like extras like wings and stuff as well that take longer. I'm really wanting to do a Cerberus for Halloween, like the Halloween collection that I want to do. So obviously that's going to be a bit of a complex doll, so I don't even think I'm going to be able to finish it. What's the biggest one I've made? I did a really big Drogon a number of years ago now, which I actually want to revisit the body for that one because it's been a long time and I can make it better, basically. So I want to pull it all apart, but it's maybe like a medium-sized dog size, I guess. It's quite big. This is my first ever art doll that you've seen, you mean? What do you mean? You could make a real Pikachu. Yeah, the copyright with Pokemon is they're pretty heavy on it. So they're kind of just as bad as Disney, if not worse. Oh, that you're making. Oh, I see. Gotcha. Like hotcakes. Yeah, I surprisingly haven't made Pokemon before. I generally tend to not make a lot of copyrighted characters because they're copyrighted characters and I don't want to deal with it. The only way I make them is like through commission. So yeah, probably, unless it's for my personal collection, just like fan art that I want to keep, or hence the Drogon. Drogon's part of my personal collection. And I wanted to make sea smoke as well, just for part of my personal collection as well. So I will get to making that. It's just a matter of when. I'll get there. Gonna run out of thread here. I need to do a new piece of thread. Oh, I might have some left over. Oh, no, that should be good. That should be all right. But yeah. So yeah, the next batch will be a Halloween batch, and then the batch after that, I'll go back to doing my regular scheduled dolls. Maybe I'll do one Christmas doll, which I don't know what it should be. Oh, last year I did Krampus. So yeah, I'm not sure about the Christmas doll this year, or even if I will do a Christmas doll. We'll see. I did have an idea, but now I can't remember what I thought of. I don't know. I can't remember. Maybe I'll do Rudolph. The Grinch? No, not the Grinch. Again, copyright. Gee, I can't remember. I could do Rudolph, because why not? I could do like a little LED in the nose, like a red LED. Or I could use like glow paint, red glow paint. That might work as well. So many options. Okay. Almost finished, guys. So I'm going to put that there. Now I need to sew the rest of that with the leftover thread. Sometimes I just leave the thread from my previous bits I've sewn, and this is why. If I run out of thread, there's one already there. I can just continue on. Yeah, Christmas. Oh, no, there was. I did have an idea. So I was going to do a Sphinx cat. So the cats that don't have any fur. I've actually got the sweater. A Sphinx cat in a crappy Christmas sweater. That's my Christmas doll. I forgot. I did decide on that. I've got the sweater. It's really cute. Yeah, just got to sort of have a think about the fabric that I want to use for it. Which I actually thought I got some, but I didn't. Doesn't matter. Yep. Crappy Christmas sweater. All right. So we want this to be sewn up to here enough to glue it on. Right. Yeah, we're almost finished this one. That's good. So this one's a grey-headed flying fox. So I'll have to give this a trim and make sure it fits. Just a little trim here. Like so. All right, so the last bit I have to sew up, I'm just going to pin that there for a second, is just in between the legs here. Just need to do like a straight little run there. And I think I might just put, ouch, there's a pin still in here. Ta-da. Might just put a little bit more polyfill in there. So the polyfill, this is a little bit of a different method that I do to make dolls. Because normally I needle felt the body and then sew the fabric on, but this is a little bit different just because of the wings. So I'm just wanting to bulk it out. a little bit with the polyfill. So this is like a cushion stuffing. And yeah, just pop it in there. And then hopefully that's probably enough. So just place it here. Yeah, so what I'm going to do is now sew the ends together. Get it wrapped around the claws, of course. Okay, chop that off here. So yeah, it's just like the little in-between bit here. So we want it to be pretty tight. So, and I can always pop off some of the sockets if I find that it's too long, but it should be okay. All right. Just gonna have a problem with it sticking, catching on the nails. But yeah, I don't know. What should I work on next after this? Because I'm almost done. Maybe. What have we got? You know what I'm going to do next? Pin the fabric on the donkey now. Pin the fabric on the medieval cat. So that should be ready to sew as well. Is the hair poked in and out or glued? The hair of the fabric, because it's just faux fur fabric, just comes like on a piece. But do you mean the head, on the head when I do it, like this part? It's glued, basically, in sections. Actually, haven't done a tutorial on that yet. No, it's like sectioned, but I mean basically individual hairs, but I sort of do it in sections, and then I give it a trim. So, but I think yeah, it's like a bit of a time-consuming process to learn, and I sort of came up with the technique myself after, yeah, like around this bit here. Yeah, so it's all glued on basically and sort of blended into the neck area as well. So you can't really see where the fabric glues around to the head. So it's blended in quite nicely. Yeah. But yeah, I spent a bit of time trying to develop a technique that I was happy with and that looked, realistic enough. So yeah. Old man's bald spots. I think there are bald spots around here. I think the angle of the ears sort of hides it a little bit as well. Anyway. Thank you for the follow. Almost finished sewing. I hate hand sewing, by the way, so thanks for the follow, guys. It's a weird angle in between the legs here. Sometimes it's hard to get the angle on the needle. But the good thing about flying foxes is they don't have tails. So that's a little bit less. Oh, that went under my nail. Oh. Coolies. Love that feeling. Okay. Where do I get the fur? I get it from all sorts of different places. So if you're in Australia, I get a lot from Spotlight, which is like a crafty sort of haberdashery store. But I only get it when it's on sale. There's always sales on there. I also get things from AliExpress. It can be expensive from there. Look how taxidermy looks. Yeah, this is not real. It's fakeodermy. Yeah, so it's fake fur. So it's just on like fabric backing. So I don't use any animal products. Yeah, and then sometimes you can find like online fur shops, like fake fur shops. But I rarely get it from there. Sometimes if I'm looking for like a really specific type of fur, then I will sort of scour the internet to see if I can find something. But generally I try and airbrush it. So I just use white fake fur and airbrush the patterns on it. So this one was just plain grey, like this grey fur, and then I airbrushed all this pattern work on it. So sometimes, yeah, you just have to do that. But yeah, I think you can get like a better range of colour with that. It's just very time consuming. But yeah. Yeah, everything's polymer clay, fake fur, cotton fabric. So I'm doing a leopard gecko at the moment. So this is what my lizard sort of progress looks like. So sculpted head, and I'm using some cotton fabric. And then I'll do the scales individually as well. And then I'll paint it, hand paint it, and, you know, polish it a little bit. And then it looks like a lizard, basically. All right, last bit here. Last bit. We're starting to run out of thread here anyway. How did I get into doing this? It just sort of developed into this, if this makes sense. So I've always been a sculptor since I was a kid. But then I started making like basically a teddy bear body. So, you know, arms, legs, whatever. But I'd add I'd sculpt the head and attach it. So I didn't have an armature or anything. It was like a floppy type doll. But then I started adding the ball and socket armature. I used wire at the beginning, and then, yeah, moved on to using the ball and socket armature. So, yeah, so that makes it posable. And I did a lot of fantasy stuff to begin with. But, yeah, I don't really do fantasy stuff all that much. I still do it, but just not as much as what I used to. But, yeah, I've been doing this for coming up to 14 years now, so I've made a lot of different things over the years, and I just sort of enjoyed making realistic things, basically. Where am I? So, yeah, I try and pick an animal that, you know, might be a bit weird looking or people don't know about, just so people can see the type of animals that's around. Or, yeah, did a little bit of a big cat project where I've made most of the big cats. The last ones I just made were 2 lions, a lioness and a male lion. So I finished them like 2-3 weeks ago. What's my biggest project? Probably the Drogon that I made, which I am going to pull apart and redo it. So, yeah, it was quite big. It's probably like big. No, it's not. It's fakeodermy. Not real. All fake. Polymer clay and fake fur. That's the fun. I'm going to add a little more birds to my series. Like next year, I think I'm going to start adding more birds. I've done birds before, but I need to do a couple of experiments with making some fake feathers. So I need to pick a bird and roll with it. Experiment with that one. So I'm thinking like maybe like a secretary bird. I can't get this needle out. Get out. It's like stuck in. The thread is like, here we go. Got it. Yeah, secretary bird, or there's a vulture. I forgot the bloody name of it. I'm drawing a blank. Anyway, it's a vulture. It's really cool. I can't remember it. For, I don't know, a small bird. Was there a comment before that? I'm trying to pick like a cool bird. The last bird I did was a taco toucan, which has a movable beak. Okay, this is our flying fox. Woo! There we go. So the next step is gluing the parts to the fur. So basically, it's all looking pretty good. So it's all sewn up. Just want to get all this out. There's some pretty cool looking pigeons and doves around. A macaw would be cool. Okay. So sometimes when you do the sewing, the pile, which is this long bit, it's called the pile. It sort of gets caught in the thread, in the stitch. So we want to get that out of the way. Okay, now glue. So the glue is this. Just gotta do this. My battery's dead, so I've got a YouTube channel which I make videos for pretty much every single doll that I make. So I just changed the battery. All right. Okay, so this is the glue that I use. It's just like a tacky fabric glue. And this is like a new glue that the one that I originally used, I don't make it anymore. But this one's pretty much very similar anyway. So basically what I do is, this is a resin head, by the way. So I don't normally make resin dolls anymore, but I usually sculpt it. So I'm going to get my glue and I'm sort of just going to load up the neck area around here. Now, there's a fine line between too much and not enough. So once you do a few dolls, you sort of get the hang of how much glue you need, because you don't want it to bleed through the actual fabric, because then it makes the fur go a bit yucky and sort of clump together, and then it's like you can't fix it from there. So just going to work it in there, and a little bit more here. So the fabric sort of sucks it up a little bit, but you just got to have it resting against the head. So that should be good. And, you know, I'll leave that to dry overnight, because it generally takes overnight for it to properly adhere. For the feet, same deal. I'm just going to load up the feet area in some glue. Tax-free, Tony. Thanks for the follows, guys. So I'm just going to load up the legs. Do this side too. Okay. Oops. And then try and leave that to dry overnight. Okay. All right, so that's ready to be left to dry. So we've got the head sort of adhered. Make sure it's all sitting right. And you can always come back to it, add a little more if anywhere it doesn't stick properly, because sometimes it can move, definitely move. So yeah, just keep an eye on it and come back to it. So I'll come back to this when it's ready to have some fur applied to the head. The fur I'm going to apply will be the same as this fur here. So we just want to make sure it's all good to go. Okay. Of course. Yeah. All right. So that's almost finished. Yeah. The last thing I'll do is add the fur and probably give the legs a little bit of a trim too, just so it looks. I feel like this would be fun to learn. I have a YouTube with heaps of videos if you want to learn. I do pretty much a video about every single doll. All right. Let's leave this to dry. And let's work a little bit on the medieval cat. So this one will be a medieval cat. I've made 3 previous ones. This is another character, I guess, to add to the story. So this one's going to be a lady. So I'll be using this faux fur for it, which is this particular fur is really hard to work with. It's like almost impossible to cut, which is really annoying. But anyway, and then I'll airbrush a little bit of blue onto it because it's going to be a blue cat. Now, when we're doing this, we want to watch where the angle of the fur is going. So it's going downwards. So we want that to go down here. The neck I'll do separately. So same sort of deal as what I did with the leopard gecko. So like that. And I'm going to cut this excess off here. So I've got my small scissors, and when I'm cutting, I'm just cutting the backing. That's all. So you need, I find smaller scissors easier to work with. So yeah, it's a nice clean cut. Just get some of the excess of the fur off because it just ends up everywhere otherwise. And then we're going to cut some little, I guess, slits for the arms to go through. So just going to follow that. Cut a little slit and then a little Y shape just so it goes around the shoulder joint. Okay, thanks for the follow. And then we put it around here like so. And so this particular doll is going to stand on 2 legs. It's an upright cat. Right, pin that together. It's really nice fur though. It's really, really soft. But I hate working with it. And here we are, working with it again. All right, so what I'm going to do here, because this one is a bit of a different doll. So I'm going to go up the leg like so. These scissors are seen better days. They really have. Okay. There we are. Why is that cat mean mugging us? Must have done something wrong. What'd you do? Okay. Now, we want to pin this, and this is really just a preliminary pin. I will refine it. I've got a really cool story for this one. I've got a cool name, story. Just have to stay tuned to find out. Sorry to be that person. It'd be like a cool kids show. Am I stuffing cats? Like real cats? Shit. When did I do that? No, it's all fake. Thank you this year. What the hell? So it's fakeodermy. Before everyone freaks out, it's fake. All fake. What the hell? What the helly hell? Yeah, you wait till they do the next lot of action cats. Felt work? No, so basically I sculpt the head at a polymer clay. And then I kind of needle felt, but not your traditional needle felt. So I felt a body just to build a form, basically. And then I'll sew on some fake fur to create the body. But yeah, no animal products. I don't use any. Okay. Now, this one, last one. Yeah, I'm going to go a different angle on this one. So yeah, I'm not like your traditional felter. I just borrow some technique. Okay. You have a few friends that do felting. Yeah, I don't really do too much with felting. But yeah, just the body. I use polyfill, so I don't use alpaca fiber or anything either. So it's just a little bit of a borrowed technique. Okay, so I'm going to pull. This one's supposed to be a bit of a petite one because it is a lady. So I'm going to sort of pull in some areas. Try not to pin myself. You thought it was a real cat? Who says it's not? No, it's an art doll. Okay. This one. So I'll do the neck as a separate piece. You're a diorama artist. Oh yeah, nice. I like dioramas. Yeah. All right. So this is one. It's part of my medieval cat series, so it's a bit of a weird looking art doll, I have to say. It's got the little blip. Whoop. So, yeah, we'll get there. Two-legged little creatures are always an interesting one to balance, I have to say. What we got on here? All right, let's trim that excess off. I think that's looking pretty good. So yeah, I'll give this one, when it's all sewn up, I'm going to do like a little bit of blue shading over it. Not much, just a hint. And probably a little bit of blue striping as well. So it's like a tabby sort of colour, pattern, I should say. let's trim the excess off. I really need new scissors. These are awful. But yeah, this particular fur drives me nuts. A bit here. Thanks for the likes. So, a little bit of excess here. This one should be okay. Oh, trim that off there. So I have a bit more sculpting coming up soon as well when I finish these dolls, because they're not that far off finishing. It's just a lot of sewing, and sewing is boring. So I'll have a bit more sculpting coming up soon too when I move on to doing the Halloween dolls. Now, so I'm really totally just freehanding where I trim this, by the way. It looks so grumpy. You thought it was real. Who says it's not? It's just really stiff and well trained and small. See, good kitty. All right, just a little bit off here. All right, so that'll be all sewn up, and then let's trim this off here. There's a pin here. Where does that belong? Not in my finger. Let's trim this here. Not too much off. So I don't like to have too much excess fabric, because it starts to get a bit too thick and sort of lumpy. So yeah, I generally try and trim off as much as I can. And then I keep bits like this because then I'll add it to the head and everything as well. All right. That's sort of what we're going for here. The neck, I would probably make the neck a bit thinner because we want a thin neck, but yeah, we'll see how we go when I start sewing it. It's looking pretty good. That's cute. Anyway, so I haven't got long left. What I can do is I can show one of my dolls, and then I'll sign off. I'll show two dolls. One's a chameleon, and one is my cougar. So it's my cougar. We went for the snarling look this time. So yeah, it's all sculpted and sewn by hand and also airbrushed as well. So that is the snarling cougar who is looking for a home as well, glass eyes as well. So you can it's kind of follow me eyes, but hello. Yeah, that's a better look at the face with a bit of fluff on it. Anyway, so I sculpted all the inside of the mouth into here. There's all like texture in there. But yeah, a bit of fluff there. So the eyes are glass. I can't quite get the angling on it properly to show you the glass eyes. But yeah, anyway, that's the cougar. The chameleon, yeah, this was the lizard that I first did. So you can see the texture on the body. So that's all hand done. That's what I'm going to do with my leopard gecko. So same deal. And then, yeah, I hand painted it. So it was a really big job, this one. Yeah, and all of the little bee scales were all hand done and attached all under there as well. But yeah, this was a really cool doll to make. But yeah, it is posable, and the eyes are slightly off center, so one's pointing that way and the other one's sort of pointing up, just so I could sort of capture the look of the chameleon. But yeah, that's one of them. So that's basically the same technique that I'm going to do on my leopard gecko. But yeah, anyway, it's cool, right? Yeah, that is so cool. Yeah, so that's why I've been trying to add, a few more reptiles to my repertoire, so I can get the experience making them. And it is sort of squishy as well. But yeah, anyway, so I will just get rid of this piece here. Anyway, I'm going to have to leave it there for today. Thanks for the follow. And I will be back. I'll do videos during the week and everything, so you can follow me there and watch some of my videos. But I'll be back on Thursday to do more. I'll try and do like really boring stuff during the week, and mostly just sewing, because sewing's boring. And yeah, so hopefully I'll be back on Thursday and we can have a chat about dolls. YouTube, I'll catch you later.